The greatest takeaway from Prabhas is that the best thing you can do with your stardom is to be unaware of it.
Beautiful.
You know,
Well said.
that guy has no clue about the euphoria associated with him.
Mohanlal Sir.
He's got this monk-like spirituality in him, which I don't even think he's fully aware of it. That he's so detached with, in terms of, he's always kind of calm and happy. We could be facing the biggest issues on set, weather, rain, 12 days of no shoot, every day so much money is going, and he'd be like, is there anything we can do? Nothing we can do. So,
I love that. Akshay Kumar.
I had the opportunity to spend some time with him and Aarav when we were in London, and he's got the most wonderful relationship with his son. And and I realized that it's a byproduct of the way he works also, because he works and then he keeps that time for his family, and he's just an amazing guy. Somebody asked me the question that if I were to remake Bro Daddy in Tamil, who would I want to cast in it? And when I said Rajini Sir, all of them were surprised because it's not your usual Rajini Sir film.
Absolutely.
But I actually thought Rajini Sir would be wonderful in Bro Daddy.
Hello everybody, I'm Radrani and welcome to Zoom's Speak Easy. My guest today is an artist, an actor who's done fantastic roles, fearlessly, always done roles that have been different. And today here is a very special project. This time the director's seat for Ashirvad and Laika Zel to Empuraan. Of course, I'm talking about the absolutely brilliant Prithviraj Sukumaran. Thank you for joining in, Prithviraj.
Thank you for having me.
But I meant every word. I was just talking to Mohanlal Sir outside, and I was talking about the experimentation that Malayalam cinema does, that we don't see any other industry still doing as much that you've continued to do. And you've been a major part of that as well. You have chosen roles that have always been different. Where do you find the conviction to continuously take those, the world might look at it as risks? So
the conviction comes from the audience, actually. I'm going to be lying if I tell you that, in Malayalam cinema, box office does not matter. It does matter. We are also handling pressures of delivering numbers, box office and all that. But thankfully, we are going through this wonderful phase where we know that if you're really honest about a story that you want to say, and you have your devices in place to be able to say that story in a engaging fashion, the audience will come and watch your film regardless of who's acting in it, regardless of whose name is associated with it. And the strength for that conviction actually comes from the audience. So the thanks should foremost go out to the film-loving audience of Kerala, very, very, and very judiciously aware of what a good film is and is not. And also the fact that they are open to seeing so many different genres of films. They will see a Manjumal Boys, they will see a Lucifer, they will see an Avesham, they will see a Goat Life, which is wonderful. So thanks to them, that culture is paving the way for a lot many talented writers and directors to think boldly, think different. And I hope this phase continues forever.
He spoke about box office numbers, so probably a right time to mention that you were being teased on stage by Mammootty Sir, saying that what a small, big film this is. Let's talk about the small, big film.
Well,
It's massive, isn't it?
I'm very, very flattered that I'm assuming it's a backhanded compliment, so I'm very flattered. But first and foremost, it's a blessing that he came in person to launch the teaser of my film. I, for a fact, know that he had a personal commitment last evening, which he had to move to come and do this for me. Even Lucifer 1, the teaser was launched through Mammootty Sir's social media handles. And he's always been really supportive of my journey, much like Lal Sir. This is so when I did Lucifer Part 1, there was obviously a sort of hype associated with it because Mohanlal Sir is acting and I'm directing for the first time. So organically there was a lot of conversation that was sort of adding to the hype surrounding the project. And I wanted to set it on record that listen, it's just a mainstream film. Come watch the film with just wanting to enjoy with a bag of popcorn, which is the same thing I want to maintain for this film as well. Give it no other thought than going and watching a commercial film. Now, I can sit here and tell you there are layers to it. There are, hidden subplots to it that you have to figure out. I'm not going to be spoon feeding and all that. But the fact is, when you go watch the film, what you get from the film is what the film is.
Sure.
There is no point in me as a filmmaker sitting here and telling you, actually, this is what I meant. So I am very particular in maintaining the fact the claim that this is nothing but any other mainstream film that I hope you will enjoy. Mammootty Sir's compliment is just a referral to that claim.
Sure.
That, you know, but yeah, I mean, I hope people like what they see. Yeah.
Yes, it's a commercial film, but I don't think it's just another commercial film also, right?
So that was the idea. That was the idea that we do a mainstream film that as you watch closely and you observe further, you realize that there's a lot beneath the surface.
Sure.
But the fact remains that the surface in itself has to work.
Sure.
Only then are people going to be interested in what lies beneath it.
And it has worked.
Yeah, so my intention as a filmmaker was to make sure more than anything at first that the surface layer of the film, which is just a big ticket mass commercial film, that works. Now, once that's worked for you, and then you look at the film, you realize that, oh, okay, there's a bit more to it than that. And Lucifer 2, Empuraan is also very much in that space.
Yeah.
Where this film is probably different is that Lucifer 1 was a story that was within Kerala. It was a story about Kerala politics. Lucifer 2 also is within Kerala and there is Kerala politics in it. But the story has a much larger national scale. And there is an international plot line also running. And coincidentally, the natural progression of the franchise is such that when you come to this part of the franchise, in fact, about 30 to 35% of the film is in Hindi because the story happens in places like that. And in every version of the film, I'm going to maintain the Hindi portions as Hindi. So when we set out making this film, we were very particular that there has to be a full-on Hindi version of the film that is released across the country. And this being a film that also serves very well as a standalone film.
Sure.
What I mean is if you have not seen part 1, you're not going to be left out in the open thinking I'm not going to be understanding this. Of course, if you've seen part 1, maybe a few of the dialogues and the throwbacks, etc. will hold more value. But even otherwise, this film is in itself a standalone film. So I wanted to make sure that this time we have a proper theatrical release of all 5 languages on the same day. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the feedback is about the Hindi version.
It sounds fantastic.
Yeah, even the music has got Hindi songs and all that. Yeah.
Which is great,
Yeah.
you know. We are going to talk about the direction. So let's talk about what Mohanlal Sir had to say about you on stage. You're quite the tough taskmaster, is what he meant.
Yeah.
And that probably is quite the compliment because you're a self-proclaimed, khud se kaha hua, the biggest Mohanlal fanboy, right?
I am a big Mohanlal fan.
Lucifer.
I don't know if I'm the biggest fan, but I'm a big Mohanlal fan. Yeah.
No competition going on. But you know, among, right? Like and Lucifer was kind of an ode also in a lot of ways to the stature and the magnanimity
I have let the fanboy in me indulge myself multiple times in Lucifer and multiple times in Empuraan. And I'm fully aware as a filmmaker when I do that is what I am doing.
Sure.
Yeah. I go to shoot my films with a very strict process in place. And I do a lot of work before I hit the floors.
Sure.
My process of filmmaking is such that by the time I begin shoot, 70% of my work is done, you know. So since I am a filmmaker that works with the process like that in mind, I am very particular about my actors sticking to what I have in mind, and you know, sometimes they surprise me. Sometimes they come and do something entirely different than what I had in mind, and I'm like, oh wow, this works. Which mostly happens with Mohanlal Sir actually. But other times, you know, I know that I keep pushing them to the direction I want them to go in. But thankfully, over the course of 3 films, the actors that I've worked with have developed such deep trust in me that now they trust me to guide them like that, which is a great compliment as a filmmaker. So because of that, I understand why Mohanlal Sir says that he's quite tough to work with, because I enjoy shooting things in real. Even if it's my action, my stunt and everything, I enjoy shooting it in real. I enjoy going to real locations, tough conditions. It could be -5 degrees Celsius, it could be 45 degrees Celsius, but still I enjoy going there. And I have a world-class team who appreciates the quality of filmmaking in real locations and practical effects. So it ends up being a process that could be quite demanding on actors, but I'm assuming the takeaway on screen is worth it. Yeah.
You know, there is also we were talking about so many legends, so how can I miss out the other reference you made last night? You kind of spoke about how you had almost gotten the opportunity to work with Rajni Sir.
Yeah.
And how disappointed you were that you had to send like a whole massive letter and stuff to Aishwarya and apologizing and all about it. You said you didn't have a story, and there were
I did have an
discussions.
idea actually, but I didn't have time to develop it because I needed to get into the shoot of Goat Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was before that a discussion about he may be doing a remake of a certain film, and
Not at all. So that's wrong information. So that was actually when I was meeting Tamil media for another film.
Sure.
Somebody asked me the question that if I were to remake Bro Daddy in Tamil, who would I want to cast in it? And when I said Rajini Sir, all of them were surprised because it's not your usual Rajini Sir film.
Absolutely.
But I actually thought Rajini Sir would be wonderful in Bro Daddy. And it's not that I wanted to remake Bro Daddy with Rajini Sir. If I am doing it, which I'm not, Rajini Sir would be my choice.
Sure.
If he would want to do it.
now that we've discussed it, do you think there's a possibility of something that you would want to do? Because you really seemed, even last night.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to direct Rajini Sir. I would love to direct Kamal Sir. I'd love to direct all the stars actually. But unfortunately, since I'm not a full-time director,
Sure.
I'm not sitting on a bank of scripts that I want to do. I know what I'm doing next as a director. I know what my next couple of commitments are. Same way, I mean, I've had the opportunity to direct something for a couple of really big stars in Bollywood as well. But again, I couldn't find time.
You were talking about the fact that you like those challenges, right? Like
Yeah.
you said, experience. Congratulations on Adu Jeevitam. I had spoken
you.
to you during the time. It
Yeah.
was, honestly, I saw it post, and the commitment that you did as an actor to me blew me.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go to that. It's a consuming process, Prithviraj, because 16 years, it's a, making. I'm not saying that the whole thing, but the idea.
Yeah.
How do you, as an actor or a director, not let it consume you? And would you do that again? Is my question, because now I know it's a different phase in your life again.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
thought I would ask you this one.
Would I spend
invest that kind of
time? Of course I would. If a film demands, I definitely would. What I will not do again is that physical transformation, which I don't think is because I had to do it twice for that film.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic, and the film got stalled in between because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I had to go through that transformation twice for that film. I don't think a third time I think a third time is going to be genuinely risky for me as a
Sure.
human being. I think I owe that to my family to not do that again.
Yeah.
But to be traveling with a film for however long it takes, to be giving that kind of time and effort, save this physical transformation, I'm all for it.
Are you able to detach from a film like this? Like, for example, we were talking about successes and box office numbers. We know the massive success of Lucifer, which is why you already have a Lucifer 3, in the making. We know that's happening for sure, right? Like, you said it.
I hope it's happening. I mean, it's just...
I like you added hope now.
Yeah, I mean, because it depends on how Lucifer 2 is accepted.
Sure.
And then it depends on, the time that I have to set aside to do something like that, because Lucifer 3 is obviously going to be bigger than Lucifer 2.
Sure.
And Lucifer 2 took me 2 years plus to make. So I don't know. Yeah, let's see.
The time and the energy. Are you able to dissociate whether it's going to do well or not? I know it's important. Even for Adu Jeevitam, well, it's a great success and all of that, but are you able to detach from it and handle if it doesn't work, and when you're that invested?
I've been doing this for quite a long while now, I've been doing this for 25 years almost now. And I've seen many successes and failures. And I am experienced enough to understand that I need to treat both the same way.
Sure.
So I keep repeating this a lot because it's important that you detach yourself from the results. You should not detach from the process. You have to give it all that you can right up to the day of release. Everything you can do to promoting the film after doing it. Everything you can do, you should do it. But once you have done that and the film is released, then it's no longer in your hands.
Sure.
Whether the film is a success or a film is not a success, that judgment is passed by the audience. And you should not let the success get you, neither should you let the failure get you. So it'll be the same. 28th of March, I'll probably be shooting somewhere. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Before I come to my last segment, I have to ask you, right? You're obviously in the world of Salaar, that continues.
Yeah.
So would be lovely to know what's happening there a little bit for all the
So
fans.
Prashanth is just starting his film with Tarak, which is I'm not supposed to say what it's called. Anyway, they're starting shoot now, and as soon as he's done with that film, we all get back together for Salaar 2.
And the world is going to get bigger, better, and crazier?
Yes.
Yes, that's all you can say, can you?
I mean, obviously, that's all I can say. I guess Prashanth, Prabhas, and me, the three of us sort of know the whole arc of Salaar 2.
Sure.
Because the last time, I think we were in Prabhas's farmhouse when Prashanth sort of told us how he wants to. But over the course of the next few months, Prashanth will keep working on it and all that. But it's very exciting, yeah.
Does it help to watch someone like a Prashanth Neel as a director to not take in the pressures of creating a world like that? Does it help? Because you have a successful franchise as well. And you pretty much Captain Cool, I can call you. I mean, you know, whenever I've met you, but I've never seen you that way. Does it kind of help you observe?
Every director I work with, I've learned something.
Sure.
Either I've learned how to do something or I've learned how to not do something, you know. So every director I've worked with, I've learned something. Even now, the current film I'm working on as an actor is being directed by my associate director. And I'm still learning. You know, there are things that he's doing which is like, okay, that's another way to do it. I'm still learning. He was my associate for Lucifer 1.
I love that.
Yeah, and for Bro Daddy. And he's just turned independent and he's making his first film with me. And I'm learning from him as well. So not just Prashanth. Every director I've worked with, I've learned, and I'll continue learning, and I'll never stop learning. And cinema is this wonderful art form where everything, nothing stops, you know. Like it's constantly evolving. Constantly there are newer ways to do things. There are newer ways to tell a story. So that's what keeps you going in this medium.
Okay, wonderful. Absolutely last segment. The first thing that comes to your mind, and with quick answers is we can. All right. Are you ready, Prithviraj? Okay. What's the weirdest thing that you had to do for an audition, if you had to?
Strangely enough, I've only had to audition for one film in my life. And that was for Aurangzeb. And I got through to that audition. There was nothing weird about it. It was like the most professional shoot ever. I actually almost felt like I was shooting a scene.
Really?
Shanu Sharma was auditioning. And she's so good at doing that. And I think I think Shanu and Adi were a little delicate about asking me to audition because by that time I had already done 50, 60 films.
Yes.
But it was the most gratifying experience in my life at that point because I felt like it was after a long time that I'm getting a film because of how good I am and not because of who I am. So, I keep looking back at that experience as a really gratifying experience.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Is there something that Prithviraj regrets in his career?
Regrets? No, not really.
Not really at all. Is there?
I mean, there are films that have come my way that I have not been able to do, and have gone to other actors and have become landmark films in their careers. But I don't regret that. That's okay.
Would you like to name a few?
No.
But you don't regret it as such.
No. I mean, how many films can one actor do?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Okay. If you had to collaborate today with another director from the Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam industry, which directors would you pick and why?
So many. Yeah. I mean, there are
top of your head.
So many directors I'd love to work with. I just can't name one. You know, just
name a few.
There are many. I mean, there are so many talented filmmakers across the country. So many of them with such distinctive styles of filmmaking. I'd love to work with all of them.
Yeah. I'm going to name a few people who you've worked with, and it'd be great if you can tell a quality that you specifically admire in them. And okay, Mohanlal Sir.
He's got this monk-like spirituality in him, which I don't even think he's fully aware of it, that he's so detached with, in terms of, he's always kind of calm and happy. We could be facing the biggest issues on set, weather, rain, 12 days of no shoot, every day so much money is going, and he'd be like, is there anything we can do? Nothing we can do. So,
that must be truly inspiring.
This is exactly what he told me in Malayalam, that is there anything you can do about this? He said, no, sir. Exactly. There is nothing you can do about it. So chill.
I love that. Akshay Kumar.
The biggest professional I've seen. I mean, he is incredible because, the biggest professional as and I mean it as a man, because he is so come on set at this time, work, finish. From now to the next 4 hours is for my family. So he goes there. And I had the opportunity to spend some time with him and Aarav when we were in London.
Yeah.
And he's got the most wonderful relationship with his son. And, and I realized that it's a byproduct of the way he works also. Because he works and then he keeps that time for his family, and he's just an amazing guy. Yeah. I don't think many people know that side of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just a great guy, actually.
Yeah. Mammootty Sir.
Man, I have not seen another actor so restless within himself, even today wanting to push, even today thinking to himself that there is so much more in me that I have not yet explored.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for 40 plus years. There is nothing left to prove for him. He's one of the finest actors the world has ever seen.
True.
But you go and talk to him, he'll be still thinking about, okay, how can I do this scene? That is amazing. I really hope I have at least half that drive at his age.
Yeah. It's fantastic. The last one is Prabhas.
The greatest takeaway from Prabhas is that the best thing you can do with your stardom is to be unaware of it.
Beautiful. Well said.
That guy has no clue about the euphoria associated with him. He has no social media. I'm sorry to disappoint you all. Whatever Instagram posts and all Prabhas is making, he's not posting it. Okay, I know. So yeah, he is happiest in his farmhouse. In the middle of all that he tells me is, let's go to some forest place. No mobile range, where a lot of trees have. That's all that he wants. He keeps telling me, let's go to some forest. Can we go to Wayanad? And all. That's what he keeps asking me. It's amazing that one of the biggest stars of the country, that's what he derives happiness from. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Prithviraj, and hopefully we're going to see you in Mumbai. But always so much pleasure talking about art with someone who truly is invested in it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.